If you have a fair shop that's already making some sales, but the orders are still inconsistent, retailers aren't reordering, and you still cannot figure out why, I need you to hear this. It's not because you're not working hard enough, and it's not because your products aren't good enough. It's because you're flying blind. And there is data sitting in your fair dashboard right now telling you exactly what's working and what's broken. But no one has ever taught you how to read it. And so you spend time just guessing. I know because I've been there. And you change random things and hope something sticks. And here's what that guessing actually cost you. The average fair seller doing around 10 orders a month is leaving somewhere between $17,000 and $70,000 in profit on the table every single year just by staying stuck. My name is Andee, and I built and scaled my own wholesale brand on Fair from the ground up. And I'm one of a handful of sellers and industry experts that Fair pulls in to test the platform, which means I see how the algorithm actually behaves, not what the forums and the other coaches are teaching you, but what Fair actually rewards. And I took everything I learned and turned it into the Fair 5 framework. It's a 3-phase system that moves you from inconsistent orders to a predictable wholesale revenue engine in just 90 days. It's visibility, it's positioning, it's conversion, it's reorders, and a momentum that compounds. So this is not just a course that you watch once and forget. It's a growth operating system. Just a few extra wholesale orders, which you will gain quickly throughout this program, will more than pay for this course. So if you're done playing small and fair, if you're ready to stop guessing and go beyond the visibility and drive real conversions and reorders and get help along the way, learn more and apply at fairaccelerator.com or at the link in the show notes. I'll see you inside. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly why your product income feels unpredictable and the 3 moves that turn scattered one-off sales into steady salary-like revenue you could actually quit your job for. Welcome to She Sells Differently. Hi, friends. Welcome to She Sells Differently, the show for aspiring women entrepreneurs looking to overcome the fear of selling and grow thriving businesses from a place of authenticity and confidence. I'm Andee Hart, and it wasn't all that long ago that I was a sales executive for a Fortune 500 company. But I knew in my heart that I was called to use my gifts for something more, something different. That's exactly why I created the She Sells Differently podcast. Each episode is going to deliver you business strategies, tools, and mindset shifts to help set you and your brand apart from our culture's expectations. It's time to elevate your sales and build a profitable, sustainable business you're proud of, one built on integrity, grace, and humility. It's time to learn how to sell differently. Hey, welcome back to She Sells Differently. This is the show for product-based business owners who are done leaving money on the table and ready to sell like they mean it. My name is Andee Hart, and if you've ever done the math late at night, added up a good maybe pop-up market weekend, you multiplied it out and thought, could this actually replace my paycheck? And then felt your stomach drop because the numbers were all over the place, this episode is for you. Here's what no one ever told me when I started my business. Replacing your 9-to-5 income is not necessarily about selling more. It's about selling differently. And it's about changing the shape of your revenue so that it stops behaving like a lucky streak and starts behaving like a paycheck. And I'm going to give you a 3-part roadmap. It's pretty simple and it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it works. But first, let me say this. And this probably continues to keep you stuck because I know it did me for a while. We often think the reason that we can't quit our job is that we're not making enough money. And so we try to fix it by hustling harder, going to more markets, more late night Etsy or fair listings, and more post 5 times a day on social media and hope and pray. But here's the part that I missed, and you might be too. The problem was never the amount. It's the one-off sales, the market shopper, the Instagram impulse buy, the person who finds your Etsy shop once and disappears. Those are great, but every single one of them starts at zero. And every month you wake up unemployed and have to go re-earn your entire income from strangers. One 12, 20, $30 candle at a time. That's not a business, that's a treadmill. And this is the trap that I hear over and over from women in this exact spot. And one of them actually said to me, she said it better than I could. The whole point of me starting a business was freedom. And then somewhere along the way, I built myself a second job with worse hours. Now, if that made your stomach drop, it did mine too. And sometimes that can land a little bit hard. But if it did, that's a good thing because I want you to stay with me. A salary has three things that your current income doesn't. A salary is predictable. And you know it's coming. It's recurring. The same source pays you again and again. It doesn't require you to set up a market booth for 8 hours on your Saturdays to exist. The rest of this episode is going to be about installing these three things into your product business. If you're ready, here's the first move. And here's where it gets interesting. I ask women all the time, how much money do you need to walk away from your job? And 90% of the time, the answer is a shrug. They don't know. They just say more or enough or a lot. And you cannot hit a target you refuse to name. So today we're going to name it. This is not your revenue goal, not your dream goal down the road when you've been in business for 10 to 15 years. This is your replacement number, the actual specific amount you need in your pocket every month to stop trading your hours for someone else's paycheck. So here's how you grab that in 3 quick steps. 1, I want you to write down your monthly take-home pay from your job. This is the real number that actually hits your account. Second, I want you to add what that job quietly covers that your business would have to cover instead. These are things like health insurance, retirement, the taxes that used to get withheld for you. This is the step everyone skips, and it's a step that saves you from quitting too early and then crawling back. Step 3 is when we actually divide. Now, let me explain. If you need, let's say, $5,000 a month and your product profits $15 a unit. Now, keep in mind the word profits, then that's a little over 330 units a month, every month on repeat. Now, when you honestly look at that number, can you actually get there one random stranger at a time? 330 humans every single month buying your product. Now, for most of you, no, you cannot do that sustainably. I know I couldn't, and certainly not without burning out. But that's not the bad news because that's the whole point. Once you see that number, then you actually stop asking, how do I sell more? And you start asking the real question, which is, where do repeat, predictable orders come from? Which is exactly our next move, move 3. This is the part that changes everything. So if you're multitasking, pay attention, come back to me. The closest thing to a paycheck and a product business is not a customer. It's an account. A customer buys once. An account, a boutique, gift shop, a retailer, someone who buys, sells through, and reorders. That reorder is the magic word. That's your recurring revenue. Now, I want you to think about what one good wholesale account actually is. It's a store owner who already has the foot traffic you're fighting for on social media. It's someone who buys in bulk instead of 1 and 2 off units. It's someone who, when your product sells, they don't disappear. They email you and say, send more. One account can quietly replace a dozen exhausting market weekends, and a handful of them can replace your salary. How do I know this? Because I made it happen with my own business. And in 2023, I was able to quit my 17-year sales career because I had started wholesaling my candle brand. And here's the roadmap on how to build that and build it quickly. Now, here's the first thing. I want you to pick 10, not 100, just 10 boutiques that you'd genuinely be proud to see your product sitting in. These would be real stores, maybe some that you visited in your local town or while on vacation. I want you to write them down. Second, I want you to get your numbers retail ready. And this is often where fear stops a lot of people. They think, I'll price it wrong and look like an idiot. So we are going to kill that fear with math, not feelings, but actual proof. You need a wholesale price that is roughly half of your MSRP or your retail price, and it still leaves you profit. And if it doesn't, that's not a reason to hide. That's information you need before you make any sudden moves in quitting your job, because we need to fix that number now while it's cheap to fix. Here's 3. I want you to reach out like a peer. You're not asking for a favor. You're handing a store owner a product their customers will genuinely love and a profit margin that they will be glad to make. They are actually looking for products like yours. Make this a short pitch with clear wholesale terms and an easy way to do business with you. Whether that's ordering via your Fair Shop or sending you their order and you send them an invoice, it should be simple and easy to work with you. Now, here's our 4th move. The first account teaches you what to say next. The second one gets easier, but by the 5th, you're not trying wholesale anymore. Friend, you've built a machine that reproduces predictable revenue, predictable purchase orders, whether or not you felt inspired that week. That's the salary. And here's the reframe to write on your whiteboard or a sticky note and put it by your computer. You don't need more customers. You need fewer, bigger, repeatable buyers, because random sales on your website are absolutely exciting. But repeat accounts, that's what pays you a salary and pays your mortgage. So here's what you need to do over the next 48 hours. I want you to do 2 things. First, I want you to calculate your replacement number. That's your take-home pay plus what the job covers that is extra, like your insurance, benefits, retirement. Get the real figure on paper today. Second, I want you to open up a new note on your phone, on your computer, and write down 5 boutiques you'd love to be stocked in. Don't necessarily pitch them yet. Don't try to polish everything. Just name them. Naming your target is how the scary part really stops being scary and abstract and starts being an actual to-do list. So that's it. Identify your number and then identify 5 to 10 stores. You'll have done more toward replacing your income tonight than most people do in a year of just trying to post more on social media. So if this cracks something open for you and you are curious about taking the next steps, I put together a simple retail ready challenge. It walks you through how to find, how to pitch your retailers, and how to win your first or next wholesale account. You can grab the link in the show notes. It's $25 and it will absolutely more than pay for itself with your first wholesale order. And here's what I want you to remember. You didn't start this business to build yourself a second job with worse hours. You started it for freedom. So do the math, pick your 5 to 10 stores, and I'll see you next week on the She Sells Differently podcast. Until then, I'm cheering you on. All right, that's a wrap on today's episode of She Sells Differently. Friends, it would be a huge blessing to me if you would take 2 seconds to rate and subscribe to my podcast. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Until then, I'm cheering you on in your entrepreneurial journey. See you next time.